Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Tuned into another week of Access Granted. Your boy, Mr. Antoine, is in the building. Hope everybody had an amazing weekend. Happy day after Mother's Day to all of the mothers, grandmothers, surrogate mothers, etc., etc., etc. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Speaking of mothers, Lisa Monet is in the building. Speaking of mothers, wait a minute, can y'all hear me? Can you hear me, Jay?
I'm here. I hear you.
Oh, okay. I wanted to make sure because I spoke to Lisa and she ain't say nothing.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you. There you go. There you go. How you doing this week, Lisa?
I didn't hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Oh. All right, hold on.
Uh-oh.
You guys are going in and out. Hold on. Okay. You hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear
Hi,
me?
everybody.
Hello, hello.
Now she's on mute again. There you go. Now you're unmuted. Can you hear us? Lisa, yes. Go out and come back in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're kind of like on a delay. Go out and come back in.
Can't hear me?
Go out and come back in. Yeah, I think she's on a delay. But I pray that everybody had an amazing Mother's Day yesterday. Shout out to T-Quest checking in. Shout out to your mom, T-Quest. I did not know that your mom was your twin. That was my first time seeing a picture, and you guys look like exactly alike. I was like, wow. So
I can hear you guys, but then I couldn't hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear us now? Yeah, we can hear you, but it's a delay. If you can hear me, go out and come back in again. Yeah, she's totally frozen now. She said, oh my God. Yeah, that was my first time T-Quest seeing a picture of your mom, and you guys literally look like y'all could be sisters at about age 25. But again, man, hope everybody had an amazing weekend. Hope everyone had an amazing Mother's Day. Shout out to my wife and my mom. I celebrated with them yesterday, hung out with them a little bit. Yeah, it was a cool weekend, man. In the building with us tonight, man. Bro, I didn't realize it's been 6 years since the album.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like, wow. When you posted that, I think like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I was like, wow, didn't realize that it's been that long. My brother, JS Choir, is in the building. Welcome to Access Granted, sir. How's everything?
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a long time, man, and I'm so happy to be here.
That's what we were talking about. And as we were mentioning that before we came on, I was trying to think of the last time that I saw you, and I want to say, well, I'll say saw you perform because I did see you at Jermaine's church a while ago. Because in this the last time I saw you perform, bro, this is gonna blow your mind. G10.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You were under new management and all
Yes.
kind of stuff.
Yes.
That's
Shout out
the
to
last time I saw you perform, bro. So
yeah.
it's definitely been a minute, man. What's been going on in your world, bro?
Oh man, a lot. First of all, shout outs to T Quest, man. I saw you on the screen. Shout outs, all love. That's the homie right there, man. She shows so much love, and I super appreciate her, and she's a dope person, man.
Yeah, we had her and El Nino on the show last week.
Okay, yeah. Shout outs to them too, man. What up? But man, so much has been going on, man. Man. Where do we start from? 2019 and 2020 were extremely rough years for me. 2019, I lost my uncle and my aunt, which happened at the very beginning of recording what has become the new album that we'll get to. And then in 2020, I lost my father, which was my best friend. That was like my dad, but that was like my brother. And so you go on a whirlwind of trying to figure it out. And that's pretty much what ended up happening. And I lost quite a few people along the way, but nevertheless, we're here, man. And I'm so excited for where God is leading me and where the music is leading me to, because even when that happened, I really kept my mind focused on trying to figure out new music for you guys. I took a year I think I took most of 2020 and into the summer of 21. So I took about a year off of recording my album. And then once I got back into it, those are the songs that actually shaped what will be coming out really soon.
Yeah. And I want to hold on one second. I want to just say, because this is my first time probably talking to you publicly since then, man. And I know I hit you up when it happened, man, but definitely condolences on the loss of your father, bro. I could feel through Facebook how that affected you. Because I know the influence that he was on you as a singer. I believe he was a member of the Soft Tones, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Legendary group. And I could, bro, like I would remember, because I was we were working exclusively from home at this time, and I just remember sitting here seeing some of the posts that you put up, and I was like, yo, my brother is he's really hurting and feeling this right now. So I definitely publicly for the first time want to just send my love and condolences, man, on that situation.
Bro, I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate you so much in general as a brother, man. And just for the people watching that don't know you, they gotta understand that you are a real one, man. Like it's not just for the radio, it's not just for the video. You have always been genuine and on and off the camera, on and off the radio, on and off the record. And I always appreciate you, man. And it's definitely nothing but love, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Lisa, while we have you here, can you hear us now?
Yes. Yes,
Lisa,
I can
very
hear
nice to meet you. Very, very nice to meet you, Lisa.
It's still a little delay there.
Me?
Yeah, it's still a little delay, but we're gonna work. Yeah, she's freezing bad.
I don't know.
We can hear you. I hear you. Very nice to meet you.
I do not know.
And she probably can't hear us.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna keep it moving.
I have no idea.
Chanel Narcissus in the building.
Hey Chanel, what up? What up?
Narcissus in the building.
I can see you guys and I can hear it. And
Chanel, you need to holler at me for the next album, man. I wanna write on the next album.
It's definitely a delay right there. But shout out to Chanel. She has a show coming up sometime in June. I can't remember the date. Her and my sister Ja Avi. I got my VIP tickets yesterday. I want my backstage access. I want my bottle of Hennessy. I want my Sean Don. I want all of that on the table. I want my fried chicken. I want it all. But I'm definitely looking forward to going and seeing these two perform live. That's going to be an absolutely amazing show. Shout out to my girl, Ja Avi. For real, man. That's going to be amazing. I believe it's going to be at the Motor House. Which is
nice.
the place where Chanel had her album release. There. I guess that was feels like last year at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the two of them together, man. But so again, as I said earlier, man, it's been 6 years since Imperfect Gentleman, man. And I remember when I first got that joint, bro, and the joint with the EPMD beat. What's the name of it? I can't remember.
Which one?
Love. Back to Love.
Oh, Back to Love. Yes.
Man, when I tell you I rode to that song for about a month straight, bro, just over and over again, just rocking that joint because I'm a big EPMD fan, and that sampled one of my favorite EPMD songs, man.
I love that song, and I love EPMD. So what you saying? And I was like, I gotta do something to it. And the story behind that is I went in. That song by the time it came out was about 5 years old. And I'd actually written that song for Ebony Rose. That was for her. Yeah, but it was a different beat. And then she decided to kind of like put it on ice because she had another song she wanted me to write on that when she was working on her album at the time. And I just, we didn't get around to doing it. So I went in and I did a demo of it. And it kind of just went through different phases. I mean, the words and stuff are the same, and the lead vocal, and the backgrounds actually. But it went through some different production changes. Yeah. And then when the bridge part comes in and the beat changes, I did that on the day of mixing, the day before went into mastering. So when y'all heard it, that beat change I had just put that in there.
Wow.
And that was of course that was naturally it was Impeach the President. But what it was I took the 12-inch of Jodeci's Come and Talk to Me to the studio. I took my turntable and we sped it up and looped it. And it turned out well. Like, cause at first it was like a chop and screw thing that me and my man G Grant had put together. And I was like, nah, that's not gonna work. And I just kept thinking about it, like, what's gonna work? What's gonna make sense on this song? Because the song has to go on the album. And at the last second, I was like, Impeach the President. Like 2 old school beats that are undeniable. Yeah. So went in there, knocked it out. We finished the mix around 3:00 that afternoon. It was in mastering the next day, and the rest is history.
Yeah. And you mentioned Jodeci, and I know that those are your boys. I know that those are your
yeah. Absolutely.
Have you been happy, man, being able to see them, back live, back singing the way that we know that Jodeci could sing back in the day? KC's voice is right, JoJo's voice is right. Even Dalvin is singing. Even Dalvin is sounding good.
And Devontae is still Devontae.
Yeah,
absolutely. A few years ago, I got a chance to actually meet and politic with KC, and that was a big deal. It was me and my best friend Nick, and that was big having him there because me and Nick grew up just on a Jodeci diet. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were such big fans. And just to be able to tell that man, thank you. Just to say thank you. And I got to give big love to Teo from Drew Hill, who indirectly made that happen for me. And, being able to, because at the time he was singing background for KC for a minute. And that show was amazing because it was KC's show, but Rough Ends opened for him, and then Jazz and Woody were there, and I've known Jazz for forever. He's like my brother. So and then some more and just different people were there, and to be able to not only politic with these people but to sing to them and with them and them validating what I had worked so hard on, I felt like I was supposed to be there. So to get to the opportunity to actually speak to Casey, it was almost like a movie because that was the last person I got to speak with. And he was kind of on the move, but not only did he stop to speak to me, but he was very personable. You know, he wasn't at all, you know, making it like he didn't have time. He made sure he knew our names, and you know, we got a chance to really talk to him and show him a lot of love, and he showed us a lot of love. And the thing was, my dad was still living, and he had texted me during that show and was like, something special was gonna happen tonight.
Wow.
I'm like,
just randomly out of the blue.
Yeah, out of the blue. And so when it happened, I sent him the picture. But see, he wanted me to get backstage to Jazz. He said, I need you to get to Jazz. I'm like, I'm gonna do that. But Teo and his manager, they were gracious enough to get me backstage to Jazz, which, you know, eventually led me to being able to meet up with KC. But it was an honor, man. It was an honor. And you know, they usually say don't meet your heroes, but he was really and truly a class act.
Yeah. I felt like that could have been a real dope jam session back there if the opportunity would have presented itself.
Sort of was. It
really?
Sort of was, because when we got backstage, Teo, Woody, and Jazz were in a dressing room. Somebody had filmed them singing on stage, so they were watching it. And then I was in there. I remember me and Teo laughing about how high Jodeci's keys are and how you gotta really sing out with the Jodeci stuff. So, you know, I'm in there mimicking KC, and then I was singing and doing runs, and the whole time Woody is standing behind me just listening. And then me and Woody connected. And then when we were making our way to meet KC, when we were escorted to where he was, Rough Ends was kind of kicking it right there. So we got a chance to kind of kick it and politic with them and sing for them. And here's the thing. After we were singing with them, because my man Nick is in my group Black Harmony, y'all will be hearing them on my new album. And also we got a record out now on the soundtrack that we'll get to, Citified soundtrack. But we were able to we sang with them, and Da Vinci, the bald one, he stops and he's like, I know y'all sung for us when you were like 17 years old. And that was true. That was true. He was like, it was just y'all two, and y'all sung for us. And I remember being blown away by the fact that y'all was so young and could sing like that. And we look at each other and we start laughing because we were just talking about it. Like, we did sing we sang for them at the People's Expo.
Wow.
And it wasn't even that we were singing for them. We were just singing and they were there.
And you just happened to be around.
And for them to remember that, because Da Vinci was like, y'all look exactly the same. Like, y'all look the same. You just got a beard. So, but it was a dope night, and was able to build a little bit of things off of that. And God is just amazing. So that was dope.
Yeah, I told you we had to talk about Jazz before, and I told you he's my favorite singer out of Drew Hill. I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves because he's never really come out with too much as a solo. But you mentioned Rough Ends, and I don't think Rough Ends gets the credit that they deserve.
I don't think anybody from Baltimore gets the credit that they deserve.
Damn, you hit just where I was about to go.
I mean, like, even when you think of Mario, you know, you think of my dad, or, you know, you think Rough Ends, you think, you know, Boss Man, you think of all of these people who've, you know, made some strides. You think of Little Mo, you think of all of these people. Like, it's just something about us where we just not even, we just don't, I don't know, for some reason we don't have the staying power in the industry. I almost think maybe we just a little too G, a little too real, and certain things we just not going for. You know, even my dad, like, it's a million stories I could tell about that, you know, that he told me, and I was hip to the game as a teenager. You know, like, I already knew what time it was. Like, my father made sure that I had a publishing contract at 18 years old, 17 years old.
Way ahead.
Because he had the co-sign. He had to sign it. So, and you know, we us Baltimoreans not going. I mean, even if you think of Drew Hill, they still not necessarily mentioned with the people that they came. They don't always get the same love as 112 or Jagged Edge, and Drew Hill was the bomb.com. Like they were undeniably dope.
Mm-hmm.
They were, to me, them and 112 were the best representation of the lineage that came before them. Like before them they were Jodeci and Boyz II Men of the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not as good as them, but really, really good versions of them. You feel what I'm saying? And I just think that Drew Hill, I think that they spearheaded that movement, but now it's something about the people that be top tier that after a while people kind of don't give the props to. And I think that's where Drew Hill is, but they're still a phenomenal group. You know, it's 84 of them now. I call them the Drew Tang. I call them the Drew Tang Clan.
I was gonna ask how you
Drew
felt.
Edition.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how you felt about Drew Edition.
Drew Edition.
Drew Tang Clan. I was gonna ask how you felt about this current version because I'm not the biggest fan, and I'm gonna just be honest. No disrespect to Black and Smoke, but to me, it just doesn't.
It to me, as a fan,
mm-hmm.
and an artist myself who was deeply inspired by Drew Hill. You know what I'm saying? That I can't get with it because now it's starting to remind me of, like, you know how when those old school packages come to town and they'll say it's the Stylistics, but it ain't really the Stylistics, or it's two original members and four other dudes you ain't that's like that's 21 years old or something crazy. It reminds me of that, and to me, in my opinion, they didn't need it. I could have went for Jazz, Cisco, and Nokio being Drew Hill because they really are the core of it, you know. And shout outs to Woody, but even if they would have did Jazz, Cisco, Nokio, and Scola, because Scola's back with them.
Yes,
that makes all the sense in the world too. But 7 people now they're the Drew Hill Mass Choir, but it doesn't bring variety to it because everybody in the group has the same singing style, the same approach. They're battling each other. You got one person over here, then one going, and you got Cisco flipping, and it's like y'all could have did that. Y'all could have did that with 4 guys. You feel what I'm saying? As long as Cisco's standing in the middle, singing his heart out with the blonde hair, and you got Nokio and you got Jazz, those are the people know. Yeah. And you and like you said, there's no disrespect to the members of Player, but Drew Hill they were established. Like nobody wants to see New Edition with Ron. They say give it up for Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, Ralph, and Timothy. Like it's not gonna make any sense. Yeah. It's not gonna make any sense. Or, you know, just replacing members of a group changes the dynamic of the group. And it's very rare that the dynamic changes for the better. Sometimes they grab people that mimic the originals. Like the Temptations will forever have a guy singing in this falsetto trying to sound like Eddie Kendricks. Yeah, right. Or somebody singing rough like David Ruffin and Dennis Edwards. But you're not gonna get like a New Edition, like where Johnny Gill added something to it because his voice was mature and he helped them get into adulthood. Right. But that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen very often. You know, again, it changes the dynamic of the group when you take away and add something to it, especially if what's being added doesn't necessarily bring another element. It's just the same element with people that we don't know.
And that's what Johnny Gill did. Johnny Gill brought a different element. He brought a soulful sound. He brought an adult sound to New Edition, and kind of ushered them into that transition of, you know, being, you know, going from popcorn love to, you know,
if it is a love, right?
If it isn't, right, exactly.
But then you have the situation where, but like with Dru Hill, like what are you gonna bring that they haven't already experienced vocally? Like they sound mature. I mean, they were undisputed. Like they were a problem. Like it's not necessary to have 7 dudes singing alike. I just don't think it is.
I agree 10,000%, which is why I said I'm not really feeling the direction. Shout out to my man Mohammed. He said, Mohammed Media, he said Cisco, Nokia, Scola was really all that they needed. Well, Cisco, Jazz, and Nokia and Scola. And I agree with that.
And then look, even when they had Teo brought a high-end flair to their harmony. So when it was that 4, I like that. I like that version. I really did. But when you start adding, when it's Jazz, Cisco, Woody, Nokia, Scola,
Method Man, Capadonna.
Right, I'm about to say that. Ghostface, the RZA, the Jizza, the Old Dirty. Like it starts to get, for me, it's like, nah, I'm good. And then I'm like, how did I'm not really I don't really like talking about money per se. I got a song called Money, but how do those checks look? How you split this 7 ways?
Well, shoot, Wu-Tang had to slice.
3 of y'all
had to slice it 9 ways.
3 of y'all. Oh man, Wu-Tang Clan. Wow. Yeah.
That's
sheesh. Yeah. But it wasn't, for me, it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Lisa, what's like your favorite what's your favorite combination of the group?
Just the original members.
The original.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah. I don't know if Jazz, Woody, Cisco, and Nokia. That's it for me. Yeah. They're gonna always be my, you know, top. I want to say that got me through, what was it, like young adulthood? I want to say they put us on the map then, and it made me feel, you know, proud because they were rocking. Tell me what you want, and they jumping around the stage and stuff like that. Everybody did that little dance, and
when that song first came out, I remember going down to Meriwether Post Pavilion and they performed that song 8 times, bro. They weren't even on the bill. 92Q brought them out as, you know, as guests. I think Miss Tony was hosting that show. They performed that song 8 times, bro.
I can believe it.
8 songs.
They were undeniable.
Just like Sha, when they first came out, Sha came to Baltimore and did a cruise on the Spirit of Baltimore, and they sang If I Ever Fall in Love about 20 times on the boat. I'm like, yo, y'all gotta have another song. Y'all got to, bro. They sung that song from the harbor to the Key Bridge and back.
I don't want to hear that 20 times.
Yikes.
Yo, from the harbor to the Key Bridge and back, yo, I was like, oh my God.
But you know what? I tried to, I listen, I've had conversations with Wood, like, bro, like, you don't want to, he like, nah. So you got to respect that. You know, he's on his own journey in life. And shout outs to him.
Shout out Paul.
But again, what's up, Paul? Paul, my man, he was in the group. I'm gonna keep it real.
I'm gonna keep it real on Dru Hill. If you wasn't with him in the gym when they was at the Fudgery singing,
I'm saying,
if you ain't paid them kind of dues with them brothers, man, we don't want you. We don't want you. And
that's not to discount the new members. It's just that the originals were, you know, where our heart is. Not to discount the brothers. They definitely talent. Talented.
You can't replace Jazz for me. You can't.
Nah. But you know, I think with groups especially, there's a certain level of nostalgia that they must keep. You feel what I'm saying? Like when you see Boyz II Men there's still a level of formal that you get from them. You get what I'm saying? They still clean cut. They're a little more mature. Maybe it's a little more fun to them now. Maybe they don't sing the songs as hard as they used to. They might have changed some kid, but there's still a core boys to men thing with them. You know, when
they made that decision, well, when Mike made the decision to leave the group, I love the fact that they didn't go try to find another Mike.
Well, you know what though? I actually like them better without Mike. I thought Mike was dope if you were listening to like acapella stuff, you know. But for me, the triad harmony, the three guys, for me were the ones that I was always checking to see what they were doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially Juan. You know?
Ain't like Mike when he came through with the lyrics at the end when he did his talk.
First
he was
of all,
like, baby.
First of all, I think that the end of the road rap is the most simpish thing that I've ever heard in my life. I hated it even as a kid.
You said that on Facebook a while ago.
Yeah. Baby, I'm here for you.
No,
all those times at night when you ran out with that other fella, baby, I knew about it. I just didn't care. What?
It was
what?
Because he knew he was coming to the end of the road. The end of the road. That's what they said. He knew that.
So he was just going like, ain't support that. He said, maybe I'll forgive you. Maybe I'll forgive you.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe you'll try. He's saying, no, Sean is saying, I'm kind of, you know.
Yeah, he was in between. Okay.
But Mike was like, you cheated on me. I know it. It hurts. I don't care because I love you. I'm like, see, now you giving her permission, brother. You giving her permission. You're giving her permission.
That's funny.
I can't allow those kind of dialogues to play in my house.
Bro, you definitely said that. You definitely said that on Facebook a while ago, and I busted out laughing when I saw that post, and I thought about it. And if you think about a lot of the talking parts that he had, it was just all kind of, all right, Mike, you got to do something. So just say something here. You know what I mean?
Soft. It was soft.
You think it was soft?
You just won't come back. He said, you just won't come back to me, will you? What?
He did say that. He did.
Your
body like a plastic mold. And please, bro.
He know all the words too. That's the funny part about it.
I'd have been like, Mike, don't.
Come on, boys, because Boys the Men was that group. They were that group. Oh, my singing farewell was in the road. That's how I knew words.
I bet.
That was our song, In the Road.
We used to, my group I was in, we used to sing that. And I would be like, this is really a pathetic song. Like, just... And that's no diss to Boys the Men. They were just singing a song, but it's like, wow. And I love the feeling of, I love the song and I love them singing it. But when you really think about it, it's like, I don't have a mind like that. I don't think like that. I don't.
Maybe I'll forgive you. Maybe
we'll
try.
Maybe I'll forgive you.
I'm so lonely.
One and done. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Shout out to my sis Tipsy Queen, all up in the building. She says, I'm here. This guy's that dude. I'm really impressed. My first time seeing an artist, but this one spoke to my spirit.
Appreciate you.
Dang.
I appreciate that. But listen, but I mean, but Boys the Men, but those groups, like if you go see Jodeci, right? They still got on sunglasses. Yep. They wear jackets with their names on them. Yep. They got on boots.
Still got the Diddy sweat.
The only difference is they keep their shirts on. That's it. But they are. It's a group that when you go see New. First of all, I don't care how good you sing, who you are, it is a terrible idea to ever go on after New Edition.
Yes. Ask Jill
I don't
Scott.
care if I did a show with them. I don't care what I did. I'm like, I'll go on first. I can have a Diamond album. I'm like, no, I'll go on first. It is perfectly fine with me. I will go on first because first of all, I'm going to be watching because I'm a huge fan.
Exactly. That part.
And second, it's one of me and six of them.
Right.
And then they're gonna form. They're gonna break off and then reform like Voltron, and they're gonna do all these things that just some people. But the point I'm trying to make is there's just a certain level of authenticity and core that I believe a group should continue to have. Now, if people start dying off and you still want to sing, and I get it.
Right.
But if I was in a 5-man group and somebody quit, it's 4 of us now. It's 4 of us.
Yeah.
But another dude quit, it's 3 of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
On that point that you just made about New Edition, man. About 5 or 6 years ago, because this was a little before the pandemic. Went to DC to see a show. They let Babyface open, which was absolutely amazing. They had New Edition after, and then they finished with Jill Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Worst idea ever. The worst idea ever.
She probably should
have. First of all, this was that time when Babyface started spending his last half hour, 45 minutes of his show singing all the hits that he wrote for everybody else and walking around the whole arena. So that was absolutely crazy in itself. And then I remember when they were setting up, I asked myself, I said, why does Jill Scott have 5 backup singers? Because it was 5 mics on the stage. Come to find out, Boyz II Men was next, and New Edition was next.
Yeah.
And like you said, they start off New Edition, and then they break off. The arm goes here, the arm goes here, the leg goes here, and then they come back as Voltron, and then they finish with Poison. You can't finish a show with Poison and then come with "You Love Me."
Listen,
I don't know who was the promoter of that show, but that was the worst idea.
I saw them on the show. Yeah. I saw them on the show years ago, and Brian McKnight was the headliner. I'm not, but I went for New Edition, but Brian McKnight was the headliner, and it was them, Raheem DeVaughn and Brian McKnight. And Raheem DeVaughn, of course, he opened. He was brand new, and Brian McKnight closed it. New Edition came out. Listen, New Edition came out, and their set was only 45 minutes. They had on, I'll never forget it, they had on all white. Their band had on all white. The instruments were all white. The mics and the microphone stands were white. When I tell you, that was the saddest show I've ever been to in my life, because when New Edition, no lie, when they exited stage left, it was at the Pier 6. At least 70% of the crowd went with them.
Yeah.
And not only that, because even if they stayed, because Brian McKnight came out and he did he did what Brian McKnight does. And people were just sitting there almost exhausted because New Edition had just came out and just ran everybody's energy just completely out of their bodies.
Yeah.
But again, what up, Natty?
9410 in the building. My God.
Once again, but see, again, those are the things that you gotta, as an artist, you really should be paying attention to. One thing about me, when I go to shows, I'm studying. I mean, I'll jam and have a good time, but I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention to the stage setup. I'm paying attention to the EQing of the band and of the microphones. I'm paying attention to the background singers and what kind of harmonies they're using as opposed to what was on the record. I'm paying attention to the set list. I'm paying attention to what songs you shortened, what songs you extended, what songs you changed the key on, where you're gonna talk at, what point in the show you talk, how many minutes it took for you to do what you did. I'm paying attention to all of that. And those are the things that help me when I do a show. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I've been in the process of just testing out the new records that I got. So I did a show. I didn't promote it to anybody. I didn't invite anybody out. I performed at the Main Street Festival in Laurel Saturday, and there's a reason I'm just saying it, because I said I wanted to do. You know how comedians be like, I want to go back on tour, but I need to go test it out in the club first.
Right.
I feel like that with my new album.
Mm-hmm.
So I put together a show. It's 14 songs on the new album. I did 7 of them live, and I just needed to know, like, okay, this works. This is where this is, because you seen me live, Antoine. You know, when I get up on that stage, I ain't playing, and if you let me, I'm taking the people with me. So that's the thing that I think is a lost art now, because everybody's just kind of, you know, swimming and holding on for dear life when they do a show. And those are when we're talking about Boyz II Men, when we're talking about New Edition, and even Jill Scott and Babyface and Jodeci and all of those people, like, those are the greats. You don't really get much greater than that.
Yeah.
And those are the people that you really should be, first of all, that should be honored way more than they are. And second, you need to be paying attention to what made them legendary. It's not just words with those people, you know, because the word legend is thrown around so much these days.
And too easily.
Because you had an album out, you had 2 albums out 20 years ago, they'll be like, the legend, like, what they do that was legendary? They just came out with 2 albums. Big deal.
Yeah.
So it's imperative that those people are studied.
I think Vanilla Ice had 2 albums. Vanilla Ice is not a legend. So yeah, you're right. We can't just go throwing that word around like that.
People would call him a legend. People, you know, so many people they would call a legend, and maybe the legends where they come from. Some of the
exactly.
People
and Maurice was making a great point. He says that takes away from the actual word legend, and I agree with that.
Absolutely. And it's thrown around a lot. We calling people legends that just, they might have had 3 really good songs. And I'm not going to say nobody's names, nothing, but it's just crazy that word is thrown around. I think it's disrespectful.
It's very disrespectful. But we can talk about that all night, man. That's a
definitely, for sure.
But
for sure.
I want to get into the soundtrack a little bit, man. Because I actually thought when I started seeing sprinkles of what you were putting out about it, I actually thought that was going to be your new album.
Mm-hmm.
But when I talked to you about coming on the show, you actually explained that it's not, and it's like a whole entirely different project that you're working on. But it looks like it's going to be fire, man. So talk a little bit about the soundtrack.
Well, it came out last month, and I did 6 songs for the project, for the soundtrack.
Somebody knows about it.
Well, it's based on a show out of Baltimore.
Okay.
That's going to be coming out this summer. It's going to be a digital series starting. And the writers, Jay and Natasha Foreman, shout outs to them. They brought me in. I was actually originally just supposed to come in and write and perform the theme song. They approached me on a Tuesday. I turned the theme song in Wednesday. And then I right before it happened, I was literally driving, listening to soundtracks. I'm listening to whatever, the Trouble Man soundtrack, Superfly, Wait and Exhale, the show soundtrack, Life, and all these different soundtracks. And I was like, it would be so dope to be the sole writer or one of the main writers on a soundtrack. And then they hit me. And so I hit them after I did the first record, the theme song, and I was like, yo, we should do a whole soundtrack. And they were like, yo, we was already going to talk to you about that. So I went in and just put my head down and started working. I think I wrote around 10 songs, and like I said, 6 of them made it. And we were done recording before they even started shooting. Like I wasn't playing. Shout outs to Natty. Me and Natty worked really hard. Natty was the engineer and co-producer. And shout out to my man Rock Boy, who just about everything I did on there, he had something to do with beat-wise. He is nasty. Dude is nasty. He did about 7 joints on my new album, The Beats. And then shout out to my man Nick Richards and my man Jake Grant, who also contributed to the production on it. And Nick actually mixed and mastered all of the records that I worked on for the soundtrack. But it was a great time, man. We had a ball. Me and Natty was just talking about it today. Like, we put our heads down and looked back up, and we were done. All while I'm recording my album and a young lady that I discovered last year by the name of Stephanie Vaughn, white girl. And she's, I like to call her pop rock or pop soul, like, because she's really dope. She plays the piano and she can really sing. And so I was recording my album, her album, and we stopped for a little bit and did the Citified soundtrack. And it was love, man. The people who came through and worked really came through and worked, man. So shout outs to Ebony Rose, shout out to my group Black Harmony, shout outs to Stephanie Vaughn again, Keisha the artist, the Shira Zanaya. We had a good time too, man. It was an honor and a privilege to do those records with those people.
And this makes me think about, man, I used to look forward to movie soundtracks, bro. Like when Boomerang and Mo Money and all of them movies came out back, bro. I used to look forward to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
New Jack City, bro. I used to, oh my gosh.
Above the Rim.
Bro,
Who's the Man? Murder Was the Case.
Yeah, I used to look
Strictly
forward
Business.
to those, man.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened or why that doesn't happen more often, man. But at one point, man, I probably had more soundtracks of movies than I did, of individual artists and stuff, man. I used to love soundtracks, bro. And you brought out the celebrities tonight. My man Rube Rice is in the building. Shout out to my brother. And then we have a question for you. My brother Mohammed wants to know, he's curious about your songwriting process.
Wow. I was asked that earlier. My songwriting process is I don't write anything down. I don't write anything down, and yes, he's right. Yeah. Shout out to Steph and Nick Richards, which is Thomas Epps that he wrote. I don't really write things down most of the time unless I really need to. I don't know. It's easy to me. Sometimes usually it's a concept, and I just think about it until the words come. Sometimes the words just come to me. But then there are times where the biggest thing I have to ask myself is this real? Am I gonna write a song that makes real sense? Is it gonna be something that can exist within the daily living of human beings? From writing from my perspective, like I got a song on my album called The Best, which is about losing love, but still happy that she found love. And, just saying, hey, I wish you the best on this. Like, I want you to have everything that I didn't give you. Then Change for You was about, look, I messed up, but I'm going to change for you. And then there's All in My Mind. That's about the paranoia of, like, I don't want you to do what I'm thinking that you're doing, but I know it's all in my mind. I know I'm tripping, so it's, for me, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
So it's that. And it's also like, I like rhyme schemes too. Like, I love wordplay. So I'm big on, growing up, I was big on Biggie and Jay-Z and Nas and, Method Man and, just stuff that they would do. So I like to also make sure that lyrically, if you say it out loud, it sounds like you rhyme it to some degree. So that's my process. That's just the writing process. We ain't even getting to the recording process, but the writing process for sure.
And I was going to ask you because you dabble a little bit on the boards as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that.
As far as like the keys and stuff.
Yeah, your keys.
But I'm more of like the guy that'll throw the chord in that's missing, or the sound that's missing, or I might get on there and reprogram the drums, or I'm the first programmer of the drums, and then my man Jay Grant or Natty or one of them will come in and kind of make sense of what it is I'm trying to do, because at this point I'm thinking of all of it. I appreciate you, Mark. Yeah. Listen, I can't wait for you to hear those. Natty said the recording process. Lord. Me and Natty, listen, real quick. When we were recording the soundtrack, a couple of the people that we worked with, people always tell you how they recorded a song in like 20 minutes. Half the time, to me, it sounds like it was recorded in 20 minutes.
I'd be like, bro, y'all need to go back and spend some more time.
Let me tell you something. Me and Natty, we laugh before people even start recording with us because they have no idea what they like. I start with the background vocals. That's the beginning. That the hook is the first thing we're gonna do, and we're gonna make those stacks make sense. And you're gonna do those harmonies, and you're gonna do them right. I'm not letting one note pass me. And then you're gonna sing those verses as many times as we need, and then we play a game called Process of Elimination, where we go through what's right and what we liked, and we might ask you what you think, but it doesn't really matter because I'm gonna pick what I like, and we just go from there. So usually by the time you leave working with me, if you haven't been in that kind of process before, it will change what you do.
Yeah.
Because I'm not playing no games.
Yeah. And I think when you put that kind of effort, when you put that kind of time in it, it makes the music what's the word? It makes the music timeless. I like artists that make a song or makes music that's great today, and I can come back 10 years from now and listen to it and still have that same feeling to it. That's the way I am with Earth, Wind, and Fire. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire and feel like they just came out like 2 years ago.
I feel the same way.
I love people that can make music like that, because we hear too much music today where it's like, y'all, hope I never hear that again. And if I do, it's the radio, I'm automatically changing stations, and it's just we make too much. People make too much right now music. Mm-hmm. And then once right now is gone, you're irrelevant as an artist. Hence the one-hit wonders and the people that.
So you just killed your longevity in the business.
They might have been popular for like 2 years, and then the next thing you know, you don't hear about them anymore.
Right. Because you can only appreciate it in this time that we're in.
Right. And there's so many artists. If I got into naming names, I would. Yes, exactly, Natty. It's disposable music. Is what we call it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of disposable artists, man. And if I got to call the names, I probably, have people throwing rocks at my door. Because
don't call a name. We all collectively know a couple of them.
You know what? I think it reminds me of like the the mid 80s, where everything was like the Lindrum drum machine and somebody trying to sound like Prince or Michael. They all had the same head, Jerry Curl, and it was like the synthesized stuff. And some of it was cool, but a lot of it was just disposable and records that we ain't heard, people ain't played since 1986. But then in between that, you have Anita Baker, you have Luther Vandross, you have the real guys, Prince and Michael, doing it. You have Freddie Jackson. And then in late 80s, we get what's called the New Jack Swing. So now that whole dance thing is a joke, because this goes harder and this feels like something that could last, even when it takes another, route. It's still magical when you go back and listen to it. I think the biggest thing is drums and bass, no matter what. Are those drums still going to hit later? Is that bass still going to be funky? And then what you put on top of that is what matters. So it's a science to it. It's an organic and a science to it for sure.
Trying to figure out the right way to word this question to not offend people. You're saying that it's a science to it, right? But doesn't it also have to be an exceptional amount of talent level behind it? Also,
no,
it doesn't.
No, and see, that's the science to it. You know,
well, should there
everybody doesn't have the same talent level.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying? Everybody's not as good as, you know, the people have raised the bar. Some of the people whose bars are high may not necessarily be the greatest singer or the greatest rapper. It's everything else that comes with them that could create this the science, pitch, key, and tone. Absolutely. But there's a thing that you have to create behind it. But I think that musically, those things that Natty mentioned for sure, but there's also there's a soul that has to go into this stuff too. And you can't teach soul, shorty. You can't, you know, attitude. I believe that attitude and audacity play a big part into it. And everything now is so conscious. It's so, I gotta do this because this is what's hot. I gotta do this because I even say, like, sometimes I feel like with church musicians and church singers, they are so hard on people who don't run or don't sing a certain kind of way that it kills the vibe of the people who can just genuinely sing and have raw talent. Now you got them thinking if they're not completely perfect for your liking, they're gonna be trash, and that's not it at all. I think again, the organics of it, the talent, and the audacity are big components. And you think of like My Prerogative by Bobby Brown. Nothing said. The attitude in the music is crazy. Everything is not on. Everything ain't on key in that record. That record is pitchy. So what? Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe. Some of the parts are super flat. Let's hear it cause we're running out of time. I'm singing it on key. It's flat though. It's also pitchy. But who cares? Like the nerve, the umph behind it, the audacity, the hardness of it is what really makes that a special record. So Can't You See by Total?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Perfect example. By Total. Who I've never, and this is no diss to them, who's ever been like, yo, Total, I mean, they vocals are, my God, when they sing, we don't think that. It's the attitude and the audacity, and it's also the intention to be the best you can be behind those records that make those records work.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait a minute. You said you feel like the kids that was pitchy? You feel like
who?
You see, was pitchy. Yeah,
I was saying on Poison, it was pitchy.
No, you said something about Total.
No, I said that Total aren't the greatest. They're not. No one is. I was saying that people don't talk about them as singers, but Can't You See is an undeniable record.
Yeah. Okay.
It's nothing. It's, I don't care how good you are. It's nothing you can do when it like.
You're right.
There's nothing you can do, and everybody's gonna sing every word with they. But you could feel them in it. You could feel Pam sing. I mean, Keisha singing that first part, and you can feel Pam in that unique voice she had, and Kima doing what it is she's doing on that record. Like it's the genuine nature of the song and the track and everything around it. So magic can be made, whether you're super talented or not.
Right.
Yeah. Good point. You're gonna make me go listen to that song after it's over because the big verse in that song I absolutely
Oh, come
love
on now. Come on now.
it.
Who better to start your record than Biggie?
Bro, I remember the first time I heard that joint, bro. I was like, this is crazy. And I love the song Vulnerable Moment up until I heard him sing it live the first time. And I was like, ah. But the energy and them dancing with Diddy the way that they do when they perform the song live, it made it okay. But it sounded like, it was like the fingernails on the chalkboard kind of. It was.
But the song is like undeniable. But here's the thing too. Nobody could have sang it like they did it.
True.
Because if you would have gave it to Faith Evans, it would have been too good. It would have been perfect, or just it wouldn't have had that funk on it. It would have had been just an R&B and smooth and like, oh, that's nice. But her doing that with them singing it like that is like, you ever be at a party and somebody like grab the mic and start singing and they singing their heart out. They not necessarily on key, but and everybody rocking with it. That's total.
It's gonna be one person at karaoke like that. Yeah.
Every time. It might be me.
But I you couldn't tell me I wasn't a member of Total. It was my I went to Western. Shout out to Western. We had Spring Rebel, and you couldn't tell me I wasn't. They played that. Oh my goodness! I did the whole dance. I was singing the whole song. You cannot tell me I was not number 4, the fourth member.
See, and but you weren't thinking about how good they were singing it.
I wasn't. That was not in my mind. It was just that it was that time, that 95, 96 time, and it was everything. Yeah.
And you know, at some point, you're gonna have to show me you doing that dance. You're gonna have to.
Absolutely will not.
You're gonna have to show me that.
And this is what I tell my daughter. There were things that we did. It was never filmed.
Let me tell you something. If they play Poison,
I'ma still do the dance.
Oh, I know. The dance. I know, bro.
I can be the only person on the floor. I'm doing the dance.
I know the steps to Poison like I choreographed it for them. So yes,
I know that
one out there doing it with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. You can be
Poison, Poison, and if it isn't love, I'm out there for it.
I know that whole dance.
I got all of
it. Poison. I know both. We're gonna have to get with that one day. But see, that's the thing though. Like, that's the thing. Like what I say too is the magic ain't there right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing that when you hear a record, it's doing all kinds of stuff. Stuff is instruments. You got parts that are turning up and turning down, and they on your left, they on your right. It's going around you. The sonics of it, like the bass ain't doing what it used to do, maybe, or the drums ain't coming at you necessarily like that. It's not different drum patterns anymore. The background vocals are not, you know, impressing you, and the harmonies are like, and then they use all that tuner, and tuner is cool to tune it a little bit so it sit a certain kind of way, but you ain't even supposed to hear it unless it's an effect where you're like, yo, T-Pain me, cool. But that magic, when you hear a Michael Jackson record, I don't care where you are. I was out with J Law and us. We had went to lunch around this time last year. We went to dinner, our crew, and the place we were at played PYT by Michael Jackson, right?
Oh, come on. That's one of my favorites.
It comes on and it's him, you know, I really think about you. You're such a PYT. And I was like, yo, I looked at him, I said, yo, as soon as the beat drop, watch the atmosphere change. He was like, you think so? Doom, 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 boom, doom, doom. Where did you come from, lady? And who won't you take? Everybody is like, you just see people like ordering their food like this now. And by the time he said, I want to love you, everybody is losing it. And I was like, he was like, what do you think it is? I said, it's the power of his vocal.
Right.
But listen to that bass line. Boom, 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 boom. Listen to those drums. Like,
Right.
yo, like, but it's gotta be mad. Like record. My father used to say songs should be doing something every 4 bars. Something should be coming up, coming down, whether you hear it or not.
Mm.
Like every Jodeci record just about has after the first 4 bars of the verse, a set of chords come in. You probably never even realized it, but that's what's happening. That's what's
Okay.
happening. And then there's little trinklets of sounds on your right hand side most of the time. You feel what I'm saying? Making those records interesting. Like they're not interesting. They're entertaining because it's music. You know what I'm saying? And if it's mixed and mastered, right, and it ain't all over the place, it's easy. You can listen to that stuff. It's cool. But you're right. It's all about feeling.
It
And
is.
and the thing is, like, it's. I always say, like now with my guy Nick Richards that's mixing for me, that mixed on the soundtrack. I said mix it like you love these songs. I like, sound like when you pushing them faders, you doing this, and you, because when I'm mixing, even when we in the studio, like Natty will tell you, I'm moving. Me and Natty, we moving, and if I sit, I'll be like, hold on, Nat, let me sit right here, and let me turn this part up real quick. And I don't do it very often, but if I do, I'm like, yo, I think that this need to be, this or that. And he the same way. He like, yo, I'm gonna turn this part up because, you gonna need, this part needs to be heard, or, even with the, like when we did the soundtrack, it's a record on there with Stephanie Vaughn called "Say Less." That song took a year and a half to get to where you're gonna hear it because we just kept adding to it, adding parts to it and stuff like that. And then when we mixed it, I have about 20 mixes of that song. It was I need this louder. I need this turned down. This needs to sound like when she sings this part, it needs to sound like this. I need this kind. I love the reverb you got right there, but I need the delay to be just a little down here. Cut that by a couple of dBs, turn that up just a little bit more. Like, you can't be afraid to have the audacity to be different and dope. You
That's
can't
what I
be
used to.
afraid of that.
That's what I've always loved about Timberland. And Timberland to me was the master of adding a whole bunch of extra tricks and trinkets in songs. And you hearing that stuff and you like almost to the point where he was one of those guys where as soon as a song came on, like the first 10 to 15 seconds, I'm like, yo, that's a Timberland song.
Yeah. It's called, well, in the music field we call it ear candy.
Yeah.
Because there are little things just happening and your ear might be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It might just be like a trick that you can, here's a trick for any artist that's watching or listening or producer. The best way to hear some of that stuff is turn the song down. Just turn it down. And the ear candy turns up. But you got to be willing to be that kind of, artist or producer that wants the magic. Like you said, Earth, Wind, and Fire, man, you be sitting there. I used to say that Earth, Wind, and Fire sounded like the circus to me. That gold brass and the strings are there, but they're not real loud. And you got Verdine playing the bass, these crazy bass licks, and you got all these vocals, and it all makes sense, and it's all got its place. Fun fact, Antoine. Fun fact. Their engineer, George Massenberg, started out as the Softtones recording engineer.
Wow.
So when they recorded their first hit, he recorded it, and then he went out there to work with Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Got a question for you, Jay, and I'm definitely interested in hearing the answers to these. Matter of fact, we're gonna close it out on this. You can't get no better than this. I definitely want to hear these in no particular order. Particular order.
Top 5 singer-songwriters or just singers and songwriters?
Well, I mean, he has singer dash songwriter, so.
All right, I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna do it 3 ways real quick. Top 5 singers for me: Luther Vandross, Donny Hathaway, Casey Haley, my father, and I'm gonna say Stevie Wonder. That's my top 5 today.
Wow.
Today, that's my top 5.
Wow.
Honorable mentions would be Dave Hollister and Joe.
Oh
And Carl,
yeah,
and Carl Thomas. Carl Thomas.
okay.
And then
Yes,
Eddie
Carl
Levert.
Thomas. Oh my
And Eddie
goodness.
Levert.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like
Love
Eddie.
the list.
I like
I
Eddie
love the
Levert.
list. God.
Thank you.
Woo.
Yes.
Oh no, I should have said Michael Jackson too. But anyway, so many.
Yeah.
Favorite songwriters of all time would have to be Gamble and Huff, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Norman Whitfield, Smokey Robinson, and it's a 3-way tie between Babyface, Devontae Swing, and R. Kelly. Singer songwriters, I would have to go with Babyface is number 1, R. Kelly is number 2. I'll say Devontae Swing. Singer songwriter. Luther Vandross. No. Prince and Michael Jackson. In no particular order. So there you have it.
Mm-hmm.
That top 5 singers with the honorable mentions was mean, bro.
Listen, I listen. I love this thing, man. I love it.
And you threw Joe and David Hollister in, which for me
Of
is.
course.
I've gotten compared to Dave Hollister a lot.
Carl Thomas.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said, and Carl Thomas. I love me some Carl Thomas.
Yeah. Carl. I saw Carl live and he killed.
Yeah.
He killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I still actually listen to his first album too, because Summer Rain is one of my.
Of course.
My
Come on. Summer Rain is a classic.
One of my favorites.
Of course.
And
absolutely.
I'm kind of mad that he didn't really. I don't know what the word is, but
you know what I think happened? Can I say this?
Like
you know what I think happened? By the time we got him, by the time we got Carl Thomas, I'm gonna even say like Avant. I'm not like a avid Avant listener, but I get it. But by the time we got Carl Thomas, what he did had been done really, really well a whole bunch of times already.
Okay.
So it gets to a point where you're like, he's gonna sing it like that. He's gonna do these kind of ad libs, and then it goes into this, and he's gonna start, wailing and singing this kind of way. Maybe he'd go in and out as far. It had been done so many times so well that I think people were just kind of like, we already had that. Yeah. So he was a casualty of war.
So if he came out 10 years earlier, he might have.
Yeah.
I definitely get that and receive that 10,000%. So it's all about the Citified soundtrack, man. Tell everybody how they can go find this joint. I didn't realize that it was already out, but I've already pulled it up on my cell phone, so this will be my Apple Music play for tomorrow.
Yes, sir. The Citified soundtrack is available on all streaming sites. You can also get it on YouTube, and the R&B side, 6 out of the 10 records on the R&B part are written, co-written, produced or co-produced by yours truly. Thank you. I did the record. I did the theme song. I worked on Say Less, Better, On Top of Me, Rose, and Like You Mean It, which is Rose, Like You Mean It, and Say Less are probably my 3 favorite ones. And Say Less is a pop record that y'all ain't even know y'all needed. And Like You Mean It is like so true blue R&B. It's so throwback. I did that record like I did that like Gladys Knight and the Pips. Like we kept my demo background vocals and just had Ebony singing over top of it. And it worked out perfectly. And then Rose is like a movie scene. It's so laid back, but at the same time, it's so ladies anthem. I didn't write that, but I did produce it. I did the vocal production on it. But again, I'm very, and Better is so sexy and soulful at the same time. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity of that. And y'all please go check that out. Support that soundtrack. It's been a slow burn, but nonetheless, it's gotten some love, and we just still working. My man, we still working on pushing it. It's also got a rap side to it. It's got my man King Prime and some other people on there.
Okay.
And you know, it's just it's black artists and white ones that also represent Baltimore
Okay.
and just the DMV in general.
Okay.
And shout out to the creators of the show once again, my man Jay and his cousin, especially because they really worked. They were literally shooting the show and coming back and working with me back and forth on the soundtrack. And I mean, one thing we don't talk enough about, I don't think, is the visual content makers in Baltimore, because they're really trying to do some different things.
Yeah.
And you know, they trying to, like, Citified is really about some 30 somethings, 20 and 30 somethings who have jobs, who have careers, who have homes, and they all rock with each other. And it's almost like a Sex in the City meets like Insecure.
Wow. Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? That's what I think that they're pushing for in their own Baltimore kind of way, which is why the theme song is so celebratory, you know. So definitely look out for that. I think it comes out next month, the show, but the soundtrack is definitely out, and it's wherever you need it to be at.
That's dope. And what I need you to do is connect me with the writers so that I can try to get them up on Access Granted before it drops. So right around the time that it drops, so we can make sure that we definitely give that a push as well.
Absolutely, positively.
Yeah, definitely. Always a pleasure, my brother.
Man, I had a ball. This hour went too fast.
And the
We
thing I
Baltimore,
love
so it
about
went
having you on
too fast, shorty.
Oh goodness.
It went too fast.
Yeah.
Baltimore too.
And
TEW.
the thing that I love about having you on the show, bro, is that we always have a real talk about music, bro. Like, you know, we bring you up here to promote whatever it is, but we always get into a conversation about good music, man. And it's always great conversation with you, bro. And I love everything you do. I'm looking forward to the new project. As you see, I'm already be on the soundtrack tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to that new album to drop, bro.
Hold up, check it out though. The first single on my new album drops the first week of July.
Let's go.
So get ready for that email, short.
Already.
Y'all get ready for that. And I'm coming back. I'm coming back to y'all. And we're gonna rock out.
Y'all don't be jealous, but Jay's one of those dudes that always drops some new stuff on me, you know.
Absolutely.
Before it's open to the public.
Absolutely.
You know. But that's what I appreciate.
He be hearing records that I don't even put out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You had me sitting in the car. You had me sitting in the car for like 15 minutes one day, bro, listening to stuff, and I'm like, yo, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I appreciate.
Listen, real quick, I played the album for J Law, well, who goes by Purpose now, him and my man Fourth Quarter, and they were just sitting there stuck, like, yo, I didn't know, like, you would. Yeah. And my little brother Javon, he's like, I didn't think you would outdo the first album. So it's gonna be a problem. And then I'm redropping the first album on streaming sites again around that time. The album drops in October. It drops October 30th, which happens to be my birthday. And the album is entitled Marvin. It's a dedication to my father. And I just wanted to make sure that I left that he, you know, he's remembered anywhere I go. So if you say Marvin and you talking about my album, you talking about my father. Yeah. So let's go.
That's fine. I can't wait.
Thank y'all for having me.
I really can't wait. And shout out to A3G, man. We had them on the show a couple of weeks ago too, bro. We done kind of came full circle because, you know, we done had quite a few people that's connected in a certain way.
You gotta get Natty on, man, to talk about it, man.
Bro, Natty done been on the show, man. I think Natty probably had one of our longest shows. Natty was on here for like 7 hours, bro. He wouldn't stop talking.
I remember that. But listen, you gotta have him on there to talk about recording the soundtrack and the Marvin album. Okay. See what he say about that. But I listen, so much love. My guy, I love you, bro. Lisa, so nice meeting you. And when it's time to do all of the good stuff, y'all definitely are going to be informed and y'all going to get it, all right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Once again, thank you so much.
I can't wait, bro. I'm looking forward to October because if people telling you that it's better than the first album and you know how much I rock with the first album, then I I might have to ride that out for the rest of the year, bro. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Oh, you're gonna be playing that for a couple years.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Always love for your moms. Every time I get to the building, I make sure I peep, man, and wave.
Yes. Yes.
My wife was supposed to tell her you was coming on tonight, but she ain't get the text message in time. But yes, appreciate you, man. And I ain't even asked, bro. How's the little lady doing?
Well, the little ladies, they're good. You talking about Noelle? She snuck past here while we were interviewing.
Oh,
She'll be 13 this year.
Oh, okay.
My wife just said, "Tell my coworker's son." I said, "Hey,
hey." Yeah, she'll be 13 in August. So straight A student. She doing it, man.
I just saw the picture of her in the studio when we were at WMSK.
I did too.
She was about right here. So
she was little. Now. She was a tiny tot.
Yeah.
She's tall now.
And talking trash too.
Still.
Appreciate you, man. Hey, always love Jay Esquire. The door is always open, bro. I ain't even got to tell you that, man. Anytime you need to come back and holler, just let me know, bro.
Much love. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
All right.
Jay Esquire in the building, y'all. My God, right? Oh my God, he got me pumped now. I can't wait till October. Sheesh. His last album had about 7 or 8 songs on there, Lisa. That was just. And like I said, the song that he did with the EPMD beat, I used to just, as soon as it was over, just replay. I rocked that joint up, man. But man, thanks to everybody, man. We had a who's who checking in with us tonight, man. When you get the right people on the show, they bring out the celebrities like Maurice Dorsey and Rude Bryce and Mohammed. You know what I'm saying? So when we get those people checking in, then I know that the guest is right, man. But I definitely appreciate all of those guys. Mohammed, I'm gonna put you on blast right now, bro. I still have got to get you up on my show so that we can talk about all of the stuff that you've done with Mohammed Media. He posted a picture with him and MC Light the other day, and I was like, yo, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. But salute to Mo, man. Me and Mo we go back, a long time, man. But again, man, I hope all of the mothers enjoyed your Mother's Day yesterday, man. And y'all make sure y'all have that same energy for the fathers.
Right? That's true.
Yo, my wife said that on Friday they were letting women leave early because they were like, we know y'all gotta go get y'all hair done for Mother's Day and all of that. Some of the dudes were like, y'all make sure y'all have that same energy next month when Father's Day comes around because we want to get off early and go get our haircuts and all of that kind of stuff too. Yeah, but and we salute our mothers and our fathers all year round, man. But during these special times, I guess it's important to make sure that we show them love. For my mom yesterday, it was king crab legs and Coronas, and she was in heaven. She was in heaven. So shout out to my moms. Thank you for all that you do and all that you've done. We are gonna get out of here, Lisa, because I know you got to go. I thank you for making it in this week.
You're welcome.
We got through the technical difficulties.
I'm like, what is going on? I kept clicking the thing, and it was like 100%. Then I went here, and it's like the mic isn't connected. I'm like, I connected the mic. It was a mess, but anyway.
And if you notice, I haven't had any on my end tonight. Knock on wood, because I moved the modem downstairs. As a matter of fact, that's it right there. That little black box in the corner that used to be all the way upstairs is now downstairs with me. So prayerfully, so pray for that little box right
so
there.
Maybe I need to move downstairs then.
Yeah. So
maybe I need to move next to mine. Mine's downstairs. I don't know. But it's okay.
But this was your first night really having those issues, so maybe it was just,
Yeah.
Who knows?
It could be, if it's not the dog, it's the helicopters. Welcome to Baltimore. I don't know.
Definitely welcome to Baltimore. But I appreciate you as always. Yeah, you just and even my dog was barking like crazy at the beginning of the show, so I had to send a text to my wife and say, put the muzzle on her. But I appreciate you as always, sis. Thank you for always being here. We got producer, writer, screenwriter, all of that kind of stuff. Teresa Davis of Teresa Davis Productions. TD Productions will be in the building with us next week. Looking forward to chopping it up with her.
Yep.
And I got some stuff that I'm gonna talk about Teresa, but I'm gonna save it for the show next week, man. Yeah, I'm gonna get on her. And she already knows. She knows she got it coming. She knows she got it coming. But I love Teresa, man, and all of the work that she's doing for the city. She's one of those people that falls under that category that Jay Esquire was saying when he said we got to give more love to our filmmakers in Baltimore. She's right at the top of that list of people that needs a lot more credit and a lot more love for the work that she's doing. So we're going to show her some love next week, man. But we're going to get out of here. Love you. Love you, Lisa. We will see you guys next week. Access granted the par stream. We are out.